Hi viewers, how are you? Today we are going to be talking about the youth and entrepreneurship, and I'm joined by Beatrice Mureithi, who is an entrepreneur and a coach. So welcome, Beatrice.
Thank you very much. Like she began by saying, my name is Beatrice and I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a business coach and I have a passion for entrepreneurship, especially when it involves the youth. So welcome and be our guests.
Thank you very much, Beatrice. And as we go along, I'm sure you're looking at this book and wondering, this is my first novel, I Am Not Dead. It's an inspirational story that I feel should inspire everyone who's looking for inspiration, especially young people. So whenever, if you need a copy, you can definitely inbox and let us know. So Beatrice,
Yes.
the first thing probably is for you to introduce yourself. Like you told us, you're an entrepreneur and a coach, but
Yeah.
people don't understand what the term entrepreneurship means. So what is the meaning of entrepreneurship?
Wow, thank you so much for that. Precisely. There is a very major difference or a huge difference between entrepreneurship and business. But people don't sometimes tell the difference. So when you're in entrepreneurship, or rather when you're an entrepreneur, you're simply using your God's given talents and skills, and also the problems within the environment, or within your society, or within your community, or within your wherever you stay. You're solving problems, at the same time you're attracting money. So that is all about entrepreneurship. Simply identifying opportunities and problems within you and solving them. But business, when it comes to business, businesses you can duplicate. You can always see what somebody else is doing. Like maybe, like when you're in M-Pesa business, you cannot tell us that you're an entrepreneur. You're simply in business. So, being an entrepreneur simply means you're being innovative, as in you being creative. Yeah, that is.
So in a nutshell, you're telling us that entrepreneurship is about solving problems.
It is about solving problems.
It's not starting a business.
It is not starting a business. Yes, okay, you can, when a business has been begun or started by someone else. For example, I will still give an example with M-Pesa. When you're doing M-Pesa, you're the business person, but the person who invented M-Pesa, in this case, I think it's Safaricom or so. So the Safaricom here is the entrepreneur. You're just copying, or rather you've just borrowed an idea from an already existing idea. So that's the difference between doing business and being an entrepreneur.
Yeah. Why do you think most young people shy away from entrepreneurship? As much as, you know, they would keep on saying there are no jobs, they apply for jobs here, they're not able to get them. But when they hear about entrepreneurship, they really want to be to become entrepreneurs, but then they don't know why and how, you know? So why do you think they shy away from becoming entrepreneurs?
I'll give two major reasons. Okay, there's so many reasons as to why, especially the youth, are not coming up to do business, or rather to be entrepreneurs, but two major ones. First of all is fear. Fear of the unknown. What if I begin that business, or rather, what if I put that idea I have into, I bring it into action and it doesn't succeed? What will people say if I don't succeed? What will people say if I begin doing ABCD? So the first thing is fear. Fear of the unknown, and we all know that fear is simply false evidence appearing real. So the second thing is procrastination. Procrastination. You know that very well that you're a talented, let's say, videographer or photographer. You know very well that you can do it, but you just you just want to wait to buy more time. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. 1 year, 2 years down the line, you still haven't begun. So there's so many other reasons, but the major two reasons is procrastination and fear. And fear is the leads.
I'm thinking about a young person who's just left school, and they've heard of this term called entrepreneurship. They've probably applied for jobs and they're not able to get them. So what would you advise them to do? Because is there any process of becoming maybe an entrepreneur or a business person? What exactly do you do? You know, we know you very well, that you're very successful in tendering and all that. So what can you tell this young person? This is the way to follow, you know.
Okay, first and foremost, we cannot all fall in the same line. So for starters, you have to identify what you're good at.
Okay.
Because we are talented, or rather God created us differently. So we have different talents, we have different hobbies, we have different passions. So first and foremost is to identify what you're good at. And you've been through school, maybe primary school, you've been through high school, you've probably been through campus. So there's definitely something that you've been so good at. Probably that is where your line falls, that is where you fall. So don't copy paste what other people are doing. Sit down, have a meeting with yourself and ask yourself, what am I, as Beatrice, what am I good at? That is how you will begin. That's how ideas of entrepreneurship will come about. And the next thing maybe is to identify a problem, a gap within your area. It may be in your village, in your estate, in your wherever you are, in your environment. Identify a gap, identify a problem that you can solve, and you will be in business.
So which problem? Let's say we are talking about maybe a photographer. What kind of a problem would they be solving? We're talking about a teacher. What kind of a problem would they be solving? And maybe any other person, what kind of problems are they going to be solving? Would you want to say that, let's talk about Mama Mboga? Are they entrepreneurs or are they business people?
Mama Mbogas can fall in either in business or in entrepreneurship. But there is one thing I would want to say. Sometimes there is a Mama Mboga and we know Mama Mbogas. Sometimes you'll go and there's a line of Mama Mbogas doing selling their mbogas and stuff, and you'll notice that one will be outstanding. The how she's conducting herself, maybe the cleanliness, how she's even maybe chopping the mbogas and everything, and the smile. You can really tell that she's enjoying what she's doing. While others will still be doing it, but you can tell
the heart is not there.
The heart is not there. They're just doing it to earn a living, just to make a living. But you can tell deep inside that they don't have that passion. So photographer. That has to be a passion. That has to be a passion. It has to really come deep within them, and we identify them from a long time ago, before we even came to this digital era, the technology and everything. You tell people who really had a passion for maybe videography and photography. They would even use the analog cameras that were there before. So it has to be a passion.
It has to be a passion.
It has to be a passion.
And then you probably maybe later on you can decide to register it as a business, which we can talk about on a different platform. Well, that's great. That's great.
The first thing is to identify what you can do, a passion that you can do, something that you do with all your heart. So the next thing is maybe now that's where we will go, is to brand yourself, because you have to have a brand
on a later date. Definitely
on a later date when you're sure. You can even begin low from the village, taking photos even in smaller events and what have you. And later on, now you can transition into branding yourself and
really
establishing yourself, registering now legal companies and acquiring everything that's required.
Which I know is what you do.
Yeah, that is what I do.
You help them out with registration and then teaching them exactly what is required.
That is true.
And so you are passionate about tendering, Beatrice.
Yes.
But I don't know why most of us shy away from tendering, because the moment you apply for a tender, people would tell you that 1,000 other people have applied, and how sure are you that you're going to be the one who's selected to actually tender whatever it is you're tendering? And also people would say that they don't want to go into tendering because of the corruption that is normally happening in that sector. So how would you encourage a young person to actually go for tenders, knowing, and you know very well that there's corruption that happens in the tendering business? So when it comes to, whenever the name tendering is mentioned, the next thing that comes to people's mind is corruption. Simply because of what we've had in the past, or because of the myths. Sometimes I call them myths, because I am personally in the tendering business. I not only teach people how they can get into tendering business, but I practically apply what I teach. I've been doing tendering since 2016, successful tendering.
So what I can assure anyone who is willing, especially the youth, the government came up with the AG program, that is AGPO, that is Access to Government Procurement Opportunities. That is a program for youth, women and persons living with disabilities, how they can access the government contracts. And we talk about tendering, don't just think what you can supply, think of the professional services, especially those who've been through school, campus, you know. Think about a service that you can give, because when it comes to professional services and consultancy, tendering, you require no capital, if any, very little. So sometimes when we say that they are cartels, that they are blah 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 blah, yes, they are. I would say that they're 50-50. Yes, they are cartels, but then we have very, very successful tenderers around, especially the youth.
What percentage, Beatrice? What percentage? Because I'm sure, and viewers, you can actually comment down here. Have you ever applied for a tender? Did you think that they applied what we call due diligence in offering or giving that tender? So, what percentage of people who apply for tenders actually get them? What percentage out of 100? Okay,
first of all, when it comes to AGPO category, the one that I'm saying it's for youth, women and persons living with disability, that's a different program altogether. Because there is the open tenders that anyone can apply, anyone, I mean anyone. But the special program for the youth, for the women, and for the persons living with disability, that is strictly for that category. And I would say that there is very little corruption. As long as you have your papers in place, as long as you've written your tender document well, and as long as you've quoted competitively, trust you me, chances are even 80% that you're gonna win that tender. And to add on to that, when it comes to tendering under the special groups, we don't compete with the other open category. If it's a tender for women, it is women and women competing. If it's a tender for youth or persons with disability, the same group competing. So most of the people in the tendering industry, especially the youth, I don't like putting it this way, but they are jokers. You just want to write your tender anyhow only. You think that because it's a government tender, you can maybe triple or even do an exaggerated price. And you okay. So if you learn how to quote competitively, and that is where I come in mostly, I train people, especially how to quote competitively. Trust me, the tenders are there.
Okay. Okay, we want to really give you the benefit of doubt, and viewers, if you want to do anything to do with tendering, Beatrice is here. You can always talk to her. But I want you to encourage someone who's applied for tenders once, twice, thrice, 4 times, 5 times, and they don't get them. And that they now feel, I can't do this tendering business. You know, I can't be a business person, I can't be an entrepreneur. So the only thing I can do is to be employed. And the moment now they also go look for jobs and they're not able to get them, they actually give up. And so what they do is they start maybe becoming criminals or committing whatever kind of crimes, you know. If it's girls, you know what they go and do to get money. So how can you advise someone who's probably given up on tendering because they're not able to get them due to corruption?
Okay, I'll say 2 things. First of all, let's get corruption out of here. I'll say 2 things. If you write a first tender and you don't succeed, we have a right to information. So you have a right to walk in that procuring entity and ask and follow up where you missed it. Because it could just be a very simple mistake. Maybe you didn't even stamp. You didn't put your stamp in a page. Maybe you overquoted. Maybe you even underquoted. Sometimes you miss out on tenders because of underquoting. So find out why you went wrong from the institution. You have a right to information. You have a right to go to the procurement department and find out where you missed that in the first place.
Great.
So the second thing that I'll say about tendering is that you have to really be focused and you have to really avoid myths. You know, the negative things I hear sometimes about tenders make me wonder how ignorant can people get. There's a lot of ignorance and a lot of assumptions. Probably out of 100%, maybe it's only 20% of the institutions that are corrupt. So why not go for the rest 80? But before you get into the field and begin applying and begin winning, you will still have that mentality. So the first thing to do about tendering is to avoid negativity, change your attitude.
Change
your
mindset.
totally 100%. Just make not even a 160 degrees, make a 360 degree.
I think I ever tried to
Yeah.
apply for one, and like you're saying, it's about the mentality and the mindset. So this company told me, this is what you have to bring in, this is what you have to bring in, this is what you have to bring in. I'm like, gosh, all these things, by the way, will I really get that? And even if I get all those documents, so I give up on the way, because I was like, no, this is too much.
You stopped halfway. Maybe it was your tender that you stopped halfway. Maybe it was.
Maybe
because they tell you to bring a certificate of registration, because you must have a registered company in Kenya. They tell you to bring a PIN certificate. If it's a business name, your personal PIN. They'll tell you to bring a tax compliance certificate, so that you can prove to the procurement people that you are compliant with the KRA and the taxation and everything. Meaning that you file your returns, your income tax annually. If it's a business, if it's you have VAT obligation, it's monthly. If you don't have VAT obligation, it's annually. Then they tell you, because if I'm mostly in the AGPO category, so they tell you to bring the AGPO certificate. Then they tell you to make a company profile, just a simple company profile, explaining more. It's like a CV of your company, explaining more about your company and what you do, what you intend to do, who are your customers, what are your motto, vision, mission. Simple. But some people won't even go past through the stage of registering.
It so easy.
It is so easy. It is so easy. You will, at the end of the day, at the end of the of this show, maybe you can give people the page that I believe you remember. A to Z of tenders and tendering in Facebook, and you can see thousands and thousands of testimonies of the people that have walked through the journey. And maybe if you want to do tendering and you're out there, I also recommend that you get a mentor in the field. Get somebody who will help you change your attitude. Someone who has been, there are several of us. Who are tendering successfully and who are ready to hold other people's hands, so that we can walk this journey together. And
So in short, and I would like you to just be very clear on this. I want to ask this question. Are tenders legit?
Very legit. 101% legit. It's a business that I would recommend to anyone who is out there, who wants to make some serious money, and who also wants to go all the way. Because again, there are people, sometimes we want to accuse the government entities of being corrupt, while else we are corrupt ourselves. Because you don't want to go all the way, like you stopped halfway because you asked for several documents. I'm very sure that probably if somebody in the same entity told you, instead of bringing all these papers, bring 1,000 or 10,000, I'll probably would have gone that way. So in this case, who is corrupt?
It's an issue with integrity. Again, by this case, who is corrupt? It's to talk about integrity.
So sometimes we want to tempt those people. We are actually the ones who are tempting them, and we want to blame the government entities altogether for corruption. And remember also, we also tender with private firms. We also tender with NGOs. So it's not necessarily, it's not always that we are going for government tenders.
With the government.
If you want to avoid the government entities, then you can always go for private institutions. You can always go for NGOs and so many other stuff.
Now away from tendering, I want us to now talk about entrepreneurship. And just the other day, we had a discussion about work politics and why people would give up and they go commit suicide because they've probably been fired, especially this time of COVID. And I'm thinking of someone who maybe has a master's degree and they would even go and start becoming or selling sukuma wiki. And when you pass by them, you're laughing at them, but you don't know how much they're making. Even people who choma mahindi, you don't know how much they're making. So how would you encourage someone who knows that they have papers and they are very well qualified for whichever job, the white collar jobs, but now they can't find those jobs and they don't want to do those jobs they consider as menial or mere jobs, How would you advise them to really go for that? Because they have to make a living anyway.
They have to. But what I'll tell people is that a shilling is a shilling. Doesn't matter whether you got it. Doesn't matter where you got it from. You call them white collar jobs. White collar jobs or black collar jobs. Whatever it is, doesn't matter where you got that shilling. Pesa ikishaingia kwa wale, doesn't matter how it got there. As long as you did something, of course you did something decent or rather something to earn that money. So yes, you're there, you're educated, you even have your masters or even PhD. but for the time being, you have to hustle. You have to get into the field and begin hustling because you have to pay your bills. Your papers are good. They may not be paying your bills for now, and you cannot just sit there and lament that, I went all the way to get your hands doing what is there to be done. Then kama ni kuendea charcoal from the whatever, from the forests, burning charcoal and selling, you do that. If it is selling sweets, if it is hawking sausages and samosas, if it is, whatever you can find, God blesses the work of our hands. So whatever your hands can find to do, do it with a smile, knowing only too well that it's paying your bill. I will be laughing at you today because you're selling, because you're burning, you're roasting maize by the roadside. But at the end of the day, will I come and pay your bills?
No, you won't.
Will I put food on your table?
No.
So it doesn't matter who you are or what you're doing or whatever papers you have. Even as you continue maybe to pray and maybe to look for jobs, because you will still need to look for jobs. Do whatever your hands can find to do. Ask God to guide you, ask God to lead you. Do whatever you can do, as long as it is a decent thing, as long as it is a legal thing, even if it means selling sweets or whatever. There is no shilling that is small or that is little.
Yes.
As long as it is being utilized well. So just don't
put your papers aside.
Yes, put your papers aside for the time being. Don't you sit there crying and and blaming and cursing. You will get crazy. Mental issues, and we'll end up maybe watching you on the streets.
They say necessity is the mother of invention. I remember there's this guy whom I went to primary school with, and he didn't manage to go to high school, so he became a mechanic like everybody else. And so we went to high school, then we went to uni, and by the time you come to meet him, you hear he's bought a plot and he's built a mansion. And I can tell you, we actually had to go there and look and see his mansion just to manifest, because how can he didn't go to high school, he didn't go to uni, he's a mechanic. How does that happen? And you're trying to see and try working with how much you're making by the end of the month. Can you even afford to get to wherever that guy is, So that's really serious. If you think about it, it's a wake-up call for almost everybody.
Okay, it doesn't discourage anyone from going through school, but you don't have to have a, like when I was young, I remember our parents used to tell us to go to school, to go to campus, so that we can get good jobs. And by good jobs, they meant maybe banking jobs and all those other stuff. So there's no good job, there's no bad job, as long as it's paying your bills, as long as it's putting food on the table, as long as it is maintaining you. So don't be, your mind, don't tie your mind to one, to one idea that because I did a master's, or rather I'm a dick, or rather I'm an engineer, or rather I must stick to that. No, you don't have to. Do whatever you can do for now, even as you trust God for better things. And another thing that I'll say is that, especially to the youth, invest. Somebody told me the other day, he told me in my mother tongue, but I'll put it in, I'll try and translate that. There's no shilling that is little when you're investing it, and there's no money that is big when you're wasting it.
Okay.
So whatever you get to do, if you get that 1,000 today, make sure you use 700. Put 300 aside for tomorrow. That's how that guy by the way managed to build the house. So put something aside, set something aside for investing, and then use the rest. And nowadays I'm encouraged, I'm excited about the youth who are really focused. Recently came across this company that is selling land. It's called Timiza Royal Limited, and they have a program for the youth. They are calling it Club 52. This is where youth are buying land within 1 year, 52 weeks within 1 year, and they're only paying an acre is going, I think, around 150 or thereof, and a youth is paying 950 shillings only per week. At the end of the 52 weeks, the youth has his or her land, and the title deed.
Which is a dream for so many
That is a dream for so many. You want to own land, but then you imagine the thousands and millions of shillings that you require, and this is just a simple somebody the management of Timiza Royal Limited just sat down and decided, let's do something for the youth, because also the youth, to enable them to own land. And that is 1 acre. The project is in Malindi. That is 1 acre. So begin to think, what if this youth is able to manage to buy that land within 1 year? What else will he do with the land in the years to come? You can do agribusiness, you can rear goats and chicken and do farming, you know, anything, and they will be proud owners of land. So it's a matter of using, you get 1,000 bob, use 700 for paying bills and everything, hide 300 somewhere. Yes.
Great. That's interesting.
Yeah,
that's
very
interesting. So maybe they might want to look at that.
Yeah, I would really want to pull as many youth as I can to the 52 weeks club, because it is a program for the youth. And I would want us to celebrate those who will begin now. I would want us to celebrate with them 1 year from now. They'll be proud owners of land. Imagine between 18 and 35 and you own land. And you've paid softly within 52 weeks.
Yeah, because that's manageable anyway.
Yeah.
So really, I'm also thinking about life purpose.
Yeah.
How about, you know, ensuring that your business or, you know, your business or your gig is in line with your life purpose?
Yes.
How about ensuring that happens? Because many other times when you're in business and you face difficulties and you're not able to probably maybe earn what you're supposed to earn, and so you tend to give up on the way. I'm thinking if that is in line with your life purpose, then you will not be looking at the money, but you will
be looking at what you're fulfilling.
Yes.
You know, you're living a fulfilling life. You'll be laughing all the way at your workplace, because you're enjoying doing
we might need to talk about that maybe on a later date. But just to touch on to that, if it means earning a living, for now you can do what is available for you. Maybe like we said, mama mboga, like we said, hooking sausages and samosas, and it doesn't make you less of a person.
Doesn't make you less of a person. But as you do that, please try and identify what you're passionate about. And I know you're passionate about teaching. I know that is where you find you will do everything else. But the moment you sit down with a student and you're coaching her or him, I know that's where you feel. You feel
where I thrive.
Yeah, that's where you thrive. That's where you feel you're fulfilling God's purpose. So even as you do what you're doing for now, please try and pray to God. And also sometimes you can even talk to people around you. What are you? What am I? Like, for example, everybody from when I was young say that I love talking. That's why I think I ended up studying journalism. I am not practicing journalism right now, but I talk. My business involves talking. When it comes to tendering, it is talking from the word go, talking to my suppliers, talking to the procuring entities. I also mentor women, youth, and persons with disability.
Always have an impact.
A lot. There's something. I'm always saying something. I think I'm only quiet when I'm asleep. I am not very sure. Maybe the people I live with can confirm. Maybe I even dream loudly. I don't know. I talk a lot, and anytime I'm given a chance to talk, it doesn't matter to who. I feel like I'm and because when I'm called for forums and events and I'm paid, so I am doing what I so I am doing what I love doing. At the same time, I am getting something in my pocket. So if you identify what you love doing from the word go, you'll always be longing for morning. You know. But when you live a lifetime doing something that you're not enjoying, you'll always be dragging yourself to work. You'll be fatigued. You will even be serving customers with a bad attitude, and you know,
like some people who are in their 8 to 5 jobs, and you find a secretary who doesn't want to serve. I don't know, because they're going through whatever. And so someone else also, I remember someone else saying that you become what you watch and what you listen to and what you read. So maybe we would want to encourage people to read and watch the right things, because if you're always watching negative stuff, then definitely your life is going to be full of a lot of doom, you know.
There is one thing I would say, and you can take this to the bank. The people that you associate with are the reason behind your failure or the reason behind your success. If you can't, please avoid toxic people under all circumstances, in all areas of life. People who are saying nikubaya, hakuna biashara ya tenders haiwezi, biashara ya you know, people who are always even people saying that marriage ni mbaya.
Yes.
You know, people who talk negative, people who have nothing positive to say about life. If these people are so toxic, these people can wear you down, and these people will definitely make you always remain behind. So if there is something that you must avoid, it is negative, toxic, and miseducated. I didn't say uneducated. I said miseducated. They have information about something, but they have the wrong information. Tendering is all about corruption. That is a miseducation, because they've not tried and failed, or even been asked to bribe their way into it. So always, if you want to do something, if I want to write a book and I want to write a book and you know that, I'll come to you, because I know that you've written this amazing book.
True.
I am not dead. So I will not say, go to people who say publishing a book is hard, writing in English is difficult. You know, if I want to do photography, I'll go to him.
Yes.
So if you want to do something, go to person, get mentored by that person who's working, or rather who's walked through that journey, and try and see how you can work together. If you can, try and avoid negative people, toxic people, miseducated people, misinformed people, whoever they are. It doesn't matter whether they're your parents, whether they're your brothers and sisters, whether they're your husbands or wife. Somebody who tells you no, somebody who has the word impossible always in their
vocabulary,
in their mouth. Please avoid them. You'd rather even be alone.
So now let's maybe parting shot, as we encourage these young people to go for tenders and entrepreneurship. I would like you to just advise them. I follow someone called Lisa Nichols, and she talked about a time when she was really in great difficulty. She didn't have anything to even feed her child, and she came up with this ideology, and she told herself she has nothing to hide, nothing to prove, nothing to defend.
Wow, I love that.
You know, so she's not going to be proving anything to anyone. And so she decided, I am going to get started. She locked herself in a room and started working. She wasn't going out, sold her car, you know, until she was now able to get on her feet. And right now she's actually, you can say, a billionaire, you know. So in any case, I would like you to just advise someone who's going through a difficult situation, doesn't know what to do and how to do it, doesn't really believe in themselves, now that they've been fired from their job, or they don't have anything to fall back on. So let's just encourage them. Maybe something for you to
what I would like to say, especially to the youth, because they are the mostly affected, maybe I would say by poverty, or maybe, you know,
lack of connection.
When I was saying that a few things that hinders people from venturing into entrepreneurship, I should have mentored capital mentality, because that is the one that has dragged people down. But Beatrice, I don't even have money to begin selling smokies. I don't even have money to do a BCD, to begin that M-Pesa shop, to begin that event, that sender business, to begin anything. So there's one thing I want to tell you, that in the days we are living, the days of social media, use social media well, because don't use social media only for gossip and only for kutukanana in the gossip pages, and you know, use the social media well. Nowadays we have so many people, and especially youth, who will go to, let's say you have a clothes shop. I'll just allow you to come and take photos and advertise the clothes on social media. If a dress is going, maybe you're selling at 2,000, I'll just get a photo and I'll say that I'm selling at 2,500. Once I get an order, I'll come and pick from you. So people are doing business with these gadgets, the phones, on behalf of others, and so many other things. They are advertising things. There's something you know that somebody else does not know. So capitalize on that. Don't sit down there waiting for capital. You can begin a business with 200, with 500 Kenya shillings, with 1,000 Kenya shillings. You can even begin with word of mouth.
200.
Yes, I know.
Next time I'll call you for a business with 200.
Yeah, organize the youth. I'll talk to them how they can do it.
Quisha, okay.
Yes.
Soon we are doing that.
Yes,
200.
You can do a business with 200 bob, and it will become 2,000. It will become 20,000. It will become 200,000. It will become 2 million.
Quisha.
It is very possible.
Great.
It is very, very possible, especially if you're skilled. Those with skills. wow, I don't know, you don't know, you're sitting maybe on a gold mine if you have skills. Yes, because skills you require sometimes zero capital when you have the skills. Yeah, I even know people who have passions for babies and they're babysitting. Like you have a small kid and I am free, maybe I am just in the estate lying idle, and I'll just take care of your babies. Yes, and you pay me 200 or 300 per day every evening, because nowadays again house girls are becoming sometimes a story for another day. So I'll be taking care of your baby and you'll be giving me 200 Kenya shillings, and I'll have 5 babies, so that makes it 1,000 and I'm good to go. So just use the identify, that's why I said identify the problems within you, solve them, and you'll be good to go. For the university graduates, we have the others who are in school and maybe they are poor in math, they are poor in English, they are poor in whatever subjects. You know, you can do private tuition, especially nowadays, because the holidays are very short. The parents are willing to pay because they want their kids to pass well, to excel in classes. So identify a subject that you're good with, advertise yourself in the estate, begin in the estate that you're living in. I can coach your kids math, I can for this amount. At the end of the day, you'll be pocketing your own money, so don't just sit there and
wow, that's interesting. So you're saying don't give up and don't sit there. Don't give up, don't sit there. Do something. What doesn't matter what it is, as long as I said it is legal and it is decent, because we are not telling you to go selling drugs or doing such stuff. Wow, thank you so much, Beatrice.
Welcome.
That was amazing. So viewers, you can comment down there and tell us what kind of a business are you in, or which one do you feel like you maybe want to go to, and also you can also share something to do with your life purpose. Tell us whether this was helpful. I'm sure we are going to go a long way. So Beatrice, we look forward to hosting you again, because I would want to see how 200 Bob will become 2 million, and thank you very much for that. So guys, wish you all the best, and let's meet next time for another session on entrepreneurship. Yes.
Well, bye.
Bye.